warm welcome back to the channel today. Today we're going to take a look at a new little tool that I found online, kind of at the recommendation of several YouTubers that I've been following for Flight Sim. And that app, which is a free map enhancement app, will change the actual satellite imagery layers on your Microsoft Flight Simulator scenery, all for the price of $0. Now, that comes with a catch. There is a free version and also a paid upgraded version that you can use to select things like the Apple Maps or the enhanced Google Maps. But based on the recommendations from the YouTuber, the ArcGIS, which is the secondary fallback map that I have selected here, and also the EOX Sentinel 2 maps are plenty good, and if anything, they're better than the default scenery, the Bing scenery that's used by Microsoft in the default Flight Simulator scenery. Now, I took a look at this earlier today, and it actually looks really nice, very vivid, and also allows you to customize the amount of saturation that you want for your scenery. So personally, I like a much more vivid scenery. I tried playing around with the AMD, the Adrenaline software, just to see if I can actually get it to look a little bit more punchy in terms of colors, but that just made it look a little oversaturated for everything else. What I wanted to see was greener hills or greener trees, for example, and that just wasn't working for me. So today we're going to go ahead and try this out and show you how that actually looks like in the sim when we have it actually running. So we'll do a quick flight from Osaka over to maybe Hiroshima or Okayama. We'll see which one actually is loaded up in my sim brief right now. But yeah, we'll go ahead and do a little fly along with us on the new 49-inch screen, and we'll do it as a night flight op today, so you'll get to see everything else running here, as well as our overhead panel, all in the dark, simulating a night flight. So we'll be right back after these brief loading screens get past, and we'll load you up in the simulator. Okay, we're back. We're now at the aircraft loading screen, or I would say the flight loading screen. We've now got ourselves, actually I'm going to do a little differently. I was originally thinking about going into Osaka today, but I think to show off the green hills and whatnot, using Seattle to Vancouver might actually be a better flight. And I normally don't fly the non-Japan routes, so let's kind of take a look. And maybe some of you who watch my videos here probably know the Seattle area better than the Japanese airports, and so maybe you can kind of see whether or not you recognize some of the landmarks and the scenery around here. So let's go ahead and start by loading in, and you'll notice when I zoom out here, you see all this lush green, but as I zoom in, the image gets blurry here. Let me zoom in a little bit more with the camera here, so you can see it's kind of blurry around the SEATAC area here, and as I zoom in, it's going to start getting a little clearer. Now, this is that scenery that I was just talking about with the EOX Sentinel. So if I were to change this, let's flip this to, let's say, like Google Maps. Let me see if this will actually change. It might take a little while for it to actually buffer, but there we go. Yeah, you can see how the scenery just changed. The trees around here are starting to get a little darker. Yeah, so there are slightly different satellite images that are being loaded in. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this back. Let's go with ArcGIS. Let's see what ArcGIS looks like. We'll set the backup to EOX Sentinel, and then see if this will actually work. Let's zoom in on this like foresty part here. And you'll usually know that the landscape has changed when the color of like dirt, some of the brownage that you see here starts to change. Yeah, it looks like it's still taking its merry time. So we'll go ahead and just load up the sim as it is right now. We'll see what it looks like as soon as we get in. I don't know why this is so blurry over here. Oh, yeah, this scenery has not loaded in yet. So you can see there's patches that are kind of coming in. There we go. So all of these scenery tiles are actually being loaded in. This is where having a fast internet connection is really key for using an app like this, because it does dynamically pull down all of the satellite imagery from the internet in real time. Currently I'm on a gigabit fiber to the home internet connection. That's going to get upgraded to a 10 gigabit Ethernet connection, 10 gig fiber connection to the home after next Monday. So hopefully that will make the loading time for these tiles faster as we fly in real time. Okay, so let me go ahead and jump into the sim. We've already got ourselves set up for SEATAC departures. You can kind of already see here, there's a difference in the tiles. And let me zoom back out. Let's go back to SEATAC. And let's go ahead and start ourselves up over at, I don't know, maybe this gate over here, S3. All right, well, we already have ourselves set up as there for departure. The time right now is 6:14 a.m. on Saturday morning over in Seattle, so this should look pretty nice. Let's set our flight conditions just so we have some clouds. I want to be able to see a little bit of weather. I think real time right now it's rainy and it's probably gray, so I don't want to use that for this test. But we'll go ahead and go back. And let's go ahead and start the flight. Let's see what this looks like. Yep. And you can see the counter over here shows how many tiles it's actually loaded. And you can see this counter moving up in real time. It's downloading all these tiles. And it is saving some to cache, so it's pulling some of it from the previous cache that I actually pulled down earlier, but also it is pulling live files as well. So let's go ahead and now start up the rest of the sim. Let's get Volanta, MobiFlight, let's get Beyond ATC up and running. Let's get our overhead panel up and running. Let's go ahead and minimize this down. And we'll go ahead and start a new flight over on Volanta's side. For Jose, you'll be able to check out this flight later on my flight history. Let's go ahead and hit ready to fly. Let's add a flight plan. We'll go ahead and add in our Seattle to Vancouver flight here. Let's back ourselves up here, and there's our aircraft. You can see the passenger walkway bridge over from the S gates back over to the A gates. It's a lovely climb from the S gates up via the escalator, and then there's that people mover or the walkway that goes over, and then the escalator is back down over to customs. It's really well modeled here, and I love looking at the sim in Flight Sim 2024 even more so than back in 2020. So it was definitely worth the upgrade. I think if you look at some of the scenery back here with the Delta hangar and the Alaska hangar, these are very recognizable. I think if you've ever been over to the S gates over at SEATAC, these should be pretty familiar. Let's go ahead and just jump on into the aircraft. All right, I'm going to go ahead and minimize down the map enhancement since I think we should be okay. And let's let it load up the default here. Set our anti-parking brake back to off. All right. So let's see, first things first. Let's take a quick little break, and then we'll start up with the power on sequence. Okay, we're back. Just starting with a little bit of a side view, just to give you a little bit of an idea of just how wide this 49-inch screen is on the desk. It is massive. It has definitely changed the immersion factor for flight simming for me, as well as those driving sims that I kind of showed you briefly. But yeah, this is a monster. But just really having the monitor kind of center when I'm flying, it really does give you that feel of being wrapped around in the cockpit versus having those two monitors off to the side like I had before. But yeah, and the only reason why I can do this now is because I have that arm that I could then push the monitor completely off to the side to let my wife work over here on her side of the desk, which that's her chair and her half of the desk here, if you can see. Yeah, I'm taking up quite a lot of it at the moment, so when I'm not using the sim, then I can then just swing the monitor out of the way. All right, let's go ahead and let's start by getting powered up. First things first, like always, we'll go ahead and switch the battery on. Oh, guess what? It didn't work. Let's see why. There we go. All right, the app was not running. Let's go ahead and try turning it on again. That didn't work. What happened there? Let's see what's going on. Stop. All right, third time's the charm. There we go. All right, so now we're up and running. Let's go ahead and turn ground power on. There we go. All right, and I think all of our panels are up and running. Our FMC is on, and we're good to go. All right, let's go ahead and start by getting the emergency exit lights on into the arm position. Let's turn logo light on, position light to steady. Let's turn the wing and wheel well lights on, and move from the top left. So we need to set our ADIRU, set them both to nav mode, and then moving down. Let's go ahead and make sure that we have everything else ready. Cabin utility switch on. Let's just set our passenger seatbelt signs on. Let's go ahead and then get yaw damper on now. The annunciator light should turn off if our RRS is ready. Yep, looks good. Let's go ahead and set the aft fuel pump on, and we'll go ahead and start the APU. And in the meantime, let's work our way around. We're looking good. Set window heat on. Let's just check overheat. Test looks good. All right, let's go ahead and reset. Turn those back on. We'll save the probe heats for later, like always. We'll turn the hydraulic pumps on. And the rest we'll go ahead and leave alone. All right, first things first, we need to then set up our radio. So let's make sure that we tune our VHF1 on, and let's go ahead and get that. Oh, looks like I didn't start it up right. Okay, while it's waiting, let's go ahead and load our flight plan up then. See if we can. You know, sometimes this view likes to stick. It doesn't want to move. There we go. And just come on. There we go. All right, and then let's go ahead and turn our EFB on. Let's request the data from SimBrief. That'll load our route. And over to our FMC. We'll go ahead and set our position. So next page, load the GPS left value, pull that in, tap on set IRS position, go to route, flight plan request. Let's load our SimBrief route from Seattle to Vancouver. Set payload, set fuel, and set route. Let's let that load in a few seconds. It should show up here. There we go. Click the load button. Give it a few seconds for ACARS to pull everything down. There we go. Let's go and activate and execute. Next, we'll go to performance initialization. We'll request. Let that pull down over ACARS as well. Should match our SimBrief briefing. Go ahead and hit load. And there are temporary numbers. So zero fuel weight is 119.4. We're on a cost index of 30. And looks like our cruising altitude is going to be 140. We'll double check that in a sec. Let's go ahead and execute. And we'll go back to our departures and arrivals. Let's go to SEATAC. And we need to go ahead and check with ATC what they want us to do today for our flight. Let's turn up the volume a little bit. All right, let's give them a call.
Seattle clearance, all Nippon 9888. Gate Sierra 3, ready to copy IFR clearance to Vancouver with information kilo.
All Nippon 9888, Seattle clearance. Thanks for information kilo. Cleared to Vancouver Airport. Radar vector station. Then is filed. Maintain 4000. Expect flight level 180. 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 123.9er. Squawk 5304.
Alright, set the squawk code first then.
Cleared to Vancouver Airport. Radar vectors pane, then as filed. Maintain 4000. Expect flight level 180, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 123.9er. Squawk 5304. All Nippon 9888.
Okay, so they have us on a 16 left. And it's going to be a non-standard instrument departure, so we're just going to go direct to pane, just fine. We'll go ahead and set our arrival.
Engine start. All Nippon 9888.
Let's check our briefing. And it looks like our arrival is going to be into 26 right on the Grizzly 7 approach. So let's set that up as well. So 26 right, Iowa Zulu, and it looks like, I think Grizzly 8 is the updated one, so let's go with Grizzly 8. Our transition is going to be via Everett, and we'll go ahead and execute. Let's now check our legs page, just make sure that we don't have any discontinuities. Doesn't look like there are. Okay, we'll go ahead and just set up our fixes for the range ring. We'll do a 14-mile range ring first, 10 nautical mile range ring, and a 5 nautical mile range ring, just to remind us when to do certain things during our arrival. Okay, let's go back now to the cruise page, and let's just double check our cruise altitude. It looks like we have, in our briefing, flight level 180 for our cruise, but for some reason, when we pull it down from SimBrief, it never gets it right the first time, so we always want to make sure we modify that to be accurate to 180 and then hit execute. That will recalculate where our top of climb will be at. And it doesn't look like, oh, there we go. Yeah, so we'll be at 180 at Everett, and then we're going to work our way down. It's a pretty short flight, so it should be pretty quick. Now, we do have this warning saying that it's not going to be able to do 280 at Egret because it's actually going to be faster than the 273 that we're going to be at Bezos. So in this case, because this is a hard speed limit, we'll go ahead and have to, let me see if we can actually, I don't know if we can change that. Let's see if we can do 270 slash. Will that take, oh, okay, maybe that'll work. Even though there could be a violation, if that's a hard speed restriction, then, oh well, sorry. We'll see how that goes. Rest of this I think looks okay, and the sun's coming up now. So let's go ahead and let's turn the brightness down a little bit here. Let's go ahead and just push back then. We don't have any passengers on today's flight, so we'll just go ahead and request pushback then. Just set our parking brake while we're waiting.
All Nippon 9888, Seattle ground, pushback approved. Face southwest.
Pushback approved. Face southwest. All Nippon 9888.
Alright, so let's go ahead and switch over to the APU now for our electrical bus. Good. And we'll turn all the other fuel pumps on. We are now using both wing tanks, but we don't use the center tank today, so we'll only set the bottom 4 switches here for the left and right wing tanks. We'll leave the centers off. And now that we're on APU, let's go ahead and turn the APU bleed on so that we can start our engines. Oh, by the way, we should have set our altitude for the cabin pressurization to 180, and our landing altitude, I believe, at Vancouver. Let's go ahead and just double check. Vancouver altitude is 59 feet, so we'll set that to 50 then. Alright, that should be 50 and 18,000. Looks good. Alright, let's go ahead and request push back. Alright, awesome. While we're waiting, let's just go ahead and make sure that we do our flight controls checks. Looks good, and then just do our rudder checks. That looks good. All right, and then we'll just go ahead and
Departure checks completed. 5 has been inserted.
oh, we did not set our. Okay, and our trim today will be 4.54. Let's go ahead and set that on here.
Locking gear.
4.55, that looks good. All right, everything's done there. Let's go ahead and scroll back up. All right, we do need to set our V speed. So V2 speed's 141. Let's set that into our autopilot. Set our flight directors both on. We'll set captain side to master. We are not taking off on a standard instrument departure, so no LNAV. We'll go ahead and set VNAV and auto throttle. Set our range ring view to 10 nautical miles, and let's push the traffic button so that we get the traffic rings. Looks good. I think everything else is set. We are now in USA, so we have to have our baro set to inches. And we're at 2992 on the altimeter. Okay. Alright, what are we waiting for? Let's just do a quick check on our throttles. Looks good. Alright. I think they were waiting for me to unset my parking brake. Let's just double check. Yeah, I think they're waiting for me to unset my parking brake. So let's release parking brake. nose facing left. Okay. Forgot to dismiss our chocks. So release ground power and unset the wheel chocks. Okay, ready to start engines. APU bleed is on. Let's set the anti-collision light, and we'll set engine start to ground. Let's go ahead and watch. N2 is at 25, so we'll go ahead and add fuel to engine 2. Set engine 1 to ground start. Let's go ahead and set our parking brake for them. Keep an eye on engine 1. And now we're at 25, so we can go ahead and add fuel. Spool up to 20.7-ish. There we go. The engine start switch getting back to off. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, go ahead and start the left and right. Engine 1 and engine 2 switch over to the buses there for the generator, and then now the APU gen can turn off. So let's go ahead and turn ISO valve on to auto, and we'll set both packs to auto, set the recirc fans to auto, we'll turn the APU bleed off, we'll turn the APU start to off, we'll turn the wing and wheel well lights off, and we'll set our engine start to continuous. Let's finish the rest of the before takeoff checklist. We'll set flaps to 5. Great. We already checked our flaps and flight controls. We set our stab trim earlier. Our cockpit doors closed. Takeoff briefing is complete, and we have started SWS. So before takeoff checklist complete. Might be really early to do the takeoff checklist or the before takeoff checklist. I know in real life you probably would check that before you get to the runway, but yes, I'm cheating here, kind of taking care of it here at the gate while I'm waiting for them to finish unhooking us. Okay, we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and request taxi to the runway.
9888. Request taxi to the active.
All Nippon 9888, runway 16 left taxi via Bravo, Charlie.
Runway 16 left taxi via Bravo, Charlie. All Nippon 9888.
It's a little bright. Let's go ahead and rewind the time just a little bit so we can get a little bit of a morning feel. Okay, we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and set our taxi light and runway turn-off lights on. And we'll go ahead and release the parking brake. And start with N1 at 30%. Let's go ahead and then start taxiing. the new graphics card and this new monitor combination has been a godsend in terms of just the smoothness and fluidity. Let's make our right-hand turn here. Yeah, it's going to be straight shot down to the end of the runway from here. Let's go ahead and set ourselves up, make sure we're centered on the line. Looks good. And let's go outside here. Take a look. Oh, look at that sky. Absolutely beautiful. Let's see if we can actually get a view of Rainier back here. We'll zoom out a little bit. Looks like the building is blocking us, unfortunately. But a beautiful sky nonetheless. We'll get to see a little bit more of that once we take off. That looks great. Inside. And we'll just go ahead and power our way over to the runway here. The maximum allowable speed limit here on the ramp. And we're at 15 knots ground speed. I think we're clear of the apron, so I think our speed limit should now be, what, 30 knots?
Skywest 3486, taxi to ramp Charlie 6 vehicle deck, hold short of runway 16 center. Taxi to ramp Charlie 6 by Quebec, hold short of runway 16 center, Skywest 3486.
It's a long taxi down there. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead for you all so that you don't have to sit through all this. So join me back as soon as we get to the end of the runway.
Contact Tower 119.9, all Nippon 9888. Have a good morning.
All right, we're back at the end of the runway now and making our left-hand turn. Let's go ahead and contact Tower for the departure clearance.
9888. Ready for departure. Runway 16 left.
All Nippon 9888, Seattle Tower, wind 160 and clear.
Landing lights on.
160.
Position to strobe and steady. And let's set our
Fly heading 170. Runway 16 left. Cleared for takeoff. All Nippon 9888.
and we'll set our TCAS to TARA. Our auto brakes is set to rejected takeoff. Okay, everything looks good. Let's go ahead and line ourselves up. 16 left. N1 to 40%. Stabilized. Toga. Forward pressure on the column here. Reduce pressure. There's this weird tearing going on the left-hand side. I don't know if you can see that there. Still trying to figure that out. I'm sure it has something to do with FSR3. But we'll see in a minute. Alright, and gear up. Keep our nose attitude at 15 degrees. And flaps now up.
Seattle departure.
set autopilot on. We'll continue our climb to 10,000. Let's take a quick look outside. You can see a little bit of Rainier back there. Probably get a better view when we actually start climbing up a little bit more. Let's swing around. Man, look at that sunrise. Beautiful. Just the way the clouds move now, it looks so much more realistic with that fluid motion. That's a beautiful shot. Let's make a right turn here. Altitude intervention. So there you can see SEATAC down there. Let's go ahead and turn around. I want to see downtown Seattle. Cloud coverage here. And there you can kind of see some of the buildings. Space in the middle here. You can see Boeing Field off to the right. Then there's the I-5 running alongside here. There's downtown Seattle. I think we can get a better view of the space of the with flight sim that I've noticed is that it does wash out the colors when you're flying through haze. I mean, I guess that's realistic. That's how it's supposed to look. But I don't know. For me, I kind of want to see the ground textures a little bit better. So I'm going to change the time just so we can see that satellite imagery like we were talking about. So we're going to set ourselves to like midday here. Let's see how that looks. Okay, we've changed our date. Our time time of day. There you can see it. See how there's these like light panels, like light colored tiles that are back here? See, those are actually being loaded in with the ArcGIS ones now, which are the darker ones that you see over here. So as we keep flying, you'll see more and more of those tiles start to populate. But yeah, this is the darker imagery. It's hard to see with all the clouds now. But even the clouds look very realistic. There we go. Now let's break through the clouds here.
Descend to 1,200 feet. Altimeter 2985.
Wow, it's already time to descend. What a quick flight this is. All right, we're going to descend to 12,000 feet. So now let's do the intervention and we'll start our descent. Looks like we're going to need drag. Let's go ahead and set the speed brakes. 50% I think should be fine. And there is Payne Field down here. That's where the 787-9 factory line was, the -8 as well. There's the customer delivery center gate. You remember here? And there's the old 747 factory. See, if you look over here with the ArcGIS, like some of this satellite imagery over here off to the right, that looks a lot more realistic than what we see in the stock Bing maps. So this is definitely a worthwhile app to try to see if the satellite imagery actually looks better for you. But because my internet connection isn't super fast, you're gonna still see these like weird patches where like you see some of the dark areas over here versus like these like lighter colored ones that are showing up here. That's where we have that disconnect between what's already cached inside the default the scenery and then the new updated scenery that's actually loaded over here on the side. So that is something that I still need to work on so that we can replace all of this default scenery with the better scenery before we actually get this far into the flight. But yeah, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. It's always fun looking down too, because then you can kind of get this bird's eye view. Kind of that Airbus A350 rear tail view. Let's try that. Zoom in a little bit more. There we go. Something like this. That's nice. Alright, we're heading down now to 15,000 feet. We do need to set our altimeter, and that is 2985. So let's go ahead and set that to 2985. Okay, looking good. Switch back to cockpit view. All right. Okay, we'll start showing you the landing sequence when we get a little bit closer to Vancouver. Be back in a sec. Alright, we're coming up on 12,000 feet and we just need to set ourselves up for landing. So let's go ahead and pick our flap speed today. Let's go with flaps 30, 139 knots with 5 knots correction for wind. We need to set our ILS to 111.9 or 5. Let's go ahead and do that. 111.95. Set that on both radios. Set. And we need to set our course to 263. do set our altitude down. So where are we going there? 4,000. Okay, start our descent down to 4,000. Let's just go ahead and check our vertical situation display. Looks like our profile looks good. Perfect. Alright, let's take a look at that imagery again. Now, it looks like some of the tiles haven't loaded. Like over here. Not exactly sure why. But it definitely looks very sparse and very low level of detail. This was something that was noted as a shortcoming of the app. Sometimes the satellite imagery doesn't load up fast enough. And it doesn't know when to load correctly, so you might have these like blotchy patches that show up. So I try not to look at it too much in detail. Let's take a quick look behind us. Yeah, it may just be that they're missing data here, possibly. So when this happens, what you can do is we can go back to the app. If it's still open, there we go. And then let's change ArcGIS over to EOX Sentinel and then see what happens here. If any of these panels actually, oh yeah, there we go. So it is loading. Now the EOX Sentinel tiles here, if I point down, you see all these blocks are now starting to fill in. There we go. So it's possible that some of the areas might not have the map coverage, so better to always have a fallback. This is going to take some time to catch up. There we go. See back there? Nice and dark green. That's kind of what I expected to see, not this like patchy, like brownish tiles that you see here. Like that's not how Seattle or Vancouver looks like. It's supposed to look a lot more lush, like what you see over here on the left. So maybe for Seattle, the EOX Sentinel map is probably the best one to go with by default, and then have ArcGIS as the backup. That looks really lovely. All right, back to flying. So let's make sure that we have everything set up. Let's check our legs page. We need to be at 8,000 or above at GoVav. Our profile looks okay. So we do have this weird pink line that's showing up here, and I think it's because we have some kind of disconnect here. Oh, that's that vector. Let's get rid of the vector. So we'll have an interesting right turn and then further right and then swing back to the left. But we may get a vector to actually go straight to, what is that, 10? Let's see how that goes. Looks like my autopilot disconnected. That's really strange. Looks like we had a little USB. Ooh, whoa, USB hiccup here. This seems to be happening now with the new video card for some reason. I think it's drawing so much power that the USB bus on the ASRock B550 Pro 4 is twitching. And there you go, you see? Like, it just blanked out. This seems to happen a lot. I need to figure out how we're gonna isolate this, because what happens is that when the USB twitches like that, the autopilot will disengage the LNAV and the VNAV, which is very annoying. But let's go slow ourselves down here. We're way too fast. Turn now. Sorry, I keep pushing the wrong button here. This wraparound effect with the 49 inch is just incredible. It just feels like you're really sitting inside a cockpit, especially with the scale of the autopilot and the yoke relative to the screen. It really does feel like you're here in the cockpit. Oh, this is really annoying. Really glitchy here. I know the autopilot is on, but let me just recycle it. Alright. And it says, oh, of course I never turned my probe heats on.
Center on 125.95, warning on 98.88. Good day. Vancouver Center, warning on 98.88, passing 5,300, descending to 2,000 feet. Descend via star to 6,000 feet, altimeter 2985, warning on 98.88. Contact Vancouver, arrival 134.225, warning on 98.88. Vancouver arrival, warning on 98.88. Good evening, 4,900 with information Lima. Altimeter 2985, expect the RNAV, Zulu approach runway 08 right, warning on 98.88. Reduce speed 170 knots, warning on 98.88. Contact Tower 118.7 Horizon Air 2033.
Coming up on our flaps up speed. Alright, and we're at flaps up speed and extend flaps to flaps 1. Let's go ahead and pull back our spoilers. Oh, lovely. Right where we need it most. top speed, so set flaps 2. And we're beyond flaps 2 speed, let's set flaps 5. Our auto throttle's disengaged. Let's go ahead and set VOR localizer. Our final landing speed will be 144. Let's keep that in mind. It's really hazy outside. Oh, this is annoying. Why is it doing this? That'll be tomorrow's project, is to try to figure out why our USB bus is just so buggy. But this seems to be an after effect of the video card. And I am running, all of this on 2 separate powered USB hubs, which is also, extra annoying because they're back here. And we split them out according to power requirements and load balancing, so that the FMC is actually plugged in directly to the motherboard. The autopilot and the EFISs are plugged into one powered USB hub, and then the 220 knots. Are you kidding me? We're already in landing phase. And then the Bravo and the rudder pedals are on a different USB powered hub, so they shouldn't be affected the way that you're seeing right now. So it's just really, I don't know, it's troubling. Let's set approach mode and capture the ILS. There we go, we're on single channel. Let's set dual channel. Hopefully now we shouldn't have any more problems. Descent, which is good. Let's go ahead and set ourselves to our go-around altitude 3,000 feet. Yeah, coming up on 10 nautical miles. Our flaps are at 5 at the moment. Let's go ahead and... Sorry, I can't set my speed any higher. I'm sorry, I'm on the auto land today for this video. Okay, we're at flaps 10 speed. Outside. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, the Vancouver scenery looks so much more beautiful with this improved satellite imagery. It's still choppy. So the Ryzen 5 5500 is kind of maxed out right now at 31 frames per second. Hopefully that gets better with the 5800 X3D that should be arriving soon. I was able to successfully order it yesterday. So that'll be the last piece of upgrade kit for this AM4 motherboard. And hopefully that'll last me for a while. Oh my god, this is beautiful. Look at that field. Gear down, we're at 5 miles. And set flaps 15. We'll now have to manually bug ourselves down to 150. Okay, we have command. Let's go ahead and set flaps down to Set our final landing speed to 144. Auto throttle armed. This keeps falling off. Do a side profile landing here. Sure that we should be centered. Looks good. I kind of want us to see our landing from the side here. Because I really want to enjoy the scenery that we're pulling. Man, that river looks so real with the reflections there too. Oh, it's beautiful. Spin back around to the this view here. Try to maintain the center line even after landing. We are getting really choppy frame rates here. Apologies for that. Hopefully that goes away with the 5800. And it should auto flare. There we go. Disconnect autopilot and let's go ahead and turn the engines off here. Nice. Set reversers. And that's another thing. You see that weird flickering, like a ghosting image that we're seeing here? That also happens. I think this is an FSR3. Frame generation issue, which only happens during the landing roll here. Let's go ahead and manual braking. Let's retract flaps and set spoilers back to off. Yeah, this thing is just so stuttery now. I know this is a limitation of the CPU. It's not the GPU that's having the problem here. Definitely hard to steer when you're looking from an outside view. Let's go back to the cockpit. Let's do this right. All right, let's set the engine start switch back to off for both. And come on, let's set our TCAS to altitude reporting off. Our anti-skid is off. Let's turn weather radar off. Flight director is off. We need to set our position lamp back to steady. Turn landing lights off. Taxi's on. That's fine. Let's go ahead and continue.
Nippon 9888. Request taxi to allocated gate. Taxi to stand 55 via Mike, Romeo, Kilo, All Nippon 9888.
Hopefully the linking between Beyond ATC and GSX is fixed, because I had problems with that earlier. Yeah, there is something really going on with the electricals here, because the USB is buggy, but also my frame rate has just dropped down to 24 frames per second, which is a lot slower than what it was. when I flew this earlier in the day, so something's going on. Maybe it's just tired. Just like, hey, stop it. Go to sleep. Alright. Just want to see if we can actually get this over to the gate. But yeah, there's this weird stuttering that we're seeing. It's like a, maybe every couple seconds you see it go tick, 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 tick. You can definitely notice it out here on the left-hand side with the scenery. It's like this weird frame pulsing thing that's happening. Not sure why. Okay, let's make a right turn here. This is really bad. This is what makes Flight Sim unbearable when you start seeing stuff like this. And it only happens after landing. It's not at the beginning of the flight, it's not at the middle of the flight, it's only at the end of the flight when you get to your destination airport. And it happens more frequently with airports that have custom scenery. So this Vancouver that I have loaded is a pretty heavy high-res custom airport scenery. So was Seattle. So that's definitely going to cause issues with the flight sim. And also I do have all the settings set to ultra as a test to see how much I could tax the 5500 with the 7900 XTX. So this is kind of the ultimate test to see whether or not this would work. And I'm recording this video so that when the 5800 X3D comes, that we can compare the same flights under the same conditions, and then to see whether or not this weird stuttering that we're seeing goes away, because that's really what I would love, that 96 megs of Vcache in order to help get rid of this. So coming up here, we're just following our map over here. We're just going to make this little hairpin turn, and then we'll be able to park. This stuttering is just unbearable. I tried everything. I mean, we tried turning off Beyond ATC because at first I thought it was these aircraft that were parked at the gates and all of the AI traffic was causing it. That didn't get rid of it. We tried clearing the rolling cache after we got on the ground. That didn't get rid of it. It just seems like the main thread is locked up, and no amount of trying to free up resources seem to make this issue go away. And this weird kind of stuttering that you see, it just happens with this scenery. Now, one thing I did notice is that if you do load, let's say, a less complex airport at the beginning, and then you're landing at a more complicated airport, that seems to help. But if you have two complicated airports that you're flying, that seems to cause this problem a lot worse. So, all right, let's slow ourselves down and go ahead and turn off our taxi lights as we then make our right-hand turn into the gate. And I do see our baggage handler, so I guess GSX did get the message from Beyond ATC. So it looks like it did link up the gate for us, which is good. And we're just off by a little bit. Oh, it looks like this airport looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and slow down. We're 80 feet, 70 feet, 60. Let's just straighten ourselves out a little bit. I think there's something wrong with the way that this thing is configured, because the gate looks a little off here. So I think we are we at the right location? No. We do need to be a little bit more in. Okay. Alright, let's follow the guidance here and go another 30 feet in. outside. Not bad. Okay. Good. We're right on the line. Let's see. Let's go to FS Actions. We'll set ground services, GPU card. Let's switch that to external pit power. We'll set wheel chocks and request ground power. Just wait for this to turn orange to say release. There we go. Now we can go ahead and go to set ground power on. Watch that flicker. We'll then go ahead and turn off both left and right. Turn off the anti-collision light. Set all this back to off. There's the exit lights off. Passenger seatbelt off. Set the IRUs off. Yaw damper off. Just go ahead and turn the cabin utilities off. Let's go ahead and see if the gate works. Use GSX, and let's just call the request deboarding. Looks like the looks that works. Okay, good. Looks like the baggage handlers are working okay.
Air mode 584 at gate 20, request pushback.
Good. All right. So yeah, our final FPS count now is 20-ish at best. Not great, but yeah, at least it's better than the 9 frames per second we were getting off of the old 4060 card. So definitely the GPU helped, but now we just need to wait for the CPU to kind of fill in the missing blank there for filling the main thread issue that we're still having. All right, we'll check in again tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get that USB flickering issue fixed, and we'll see how much better we can get the sim to be more reliable. Until then, thanks for tuning in.